Let's quickly move on to our next issue of discussion, where in a courageous act, the family of a bride-to-be and a group of passengers thwarted a kidnap attempt by killing a tourist in Zamfara State. The incident occurred when they were ambushed by bandits along the Talata Mafara-Gusau highway on their wedding to buy wedding materials in Kano. Though one of the bandits managed to escape, the brave passengers killed one and captured 2 AK-47 rifles. PKO, one would say, every day for the thief, one day is for the owner.
Yes.
So this is a situation of what happened.
No, they saw an opportunity that they could exploit, because if they were more than that, they would not have tried it, because the bandits will have wasted them. You know, these are bandits who sometimes ambush soldiers and kill soldiers. So they have some weapons that people can only see in their dreams. So they felt, look, these people are not enough, and that they could overpower them. And they summoned that courage. Even Chibok guests, some of them summoned courage, jumped down from the truck that was taking them into the Sambisa forest. Some escaped. The government college, government science secondary school, Kankara in Katsina. When those boys were kidnapped, some of them escaped. So I'm sure some brave boys among them was afraid, what's going on? The 3 of you can't overpower us now. Yeah. So, because the alternative is they could be in captivity for months, 6 months. Look at the students of the Federal University, Gusau. Some of them were only just released after about 6 months in the hands of the bandits. They are hard-nosed negotiators. You know, they would try to get as much as possible. So it could be on it for months. So these guys have helped themselves, and I'm happy for them.
But this is something I would like to see in terms of self-defense for the people who are usually prone to
you must use
violence.
your brain. You must use your brain.
That's true.
It's not every time that you can try to play the hero. If you can see clearly that you can't overpower them, what's the point? They will just waste you. But there were 3 of them, and I think on a bike.
Yes.
And they must have felt, look, what the hell, these 3 guys, they can't overpower all of us. You know, it takes a lot of courage and hot-headedness to confront this kind of people. But seeing that they were just 3, they thought, well, it makes sense, let us try. Fortune favors the daring.
Fortune favors the daring, like
yes,
you say.
and on this day, fortune favored them. On another day,
it might not be the same.
Yeah, I disagree with governors who say the people should defend themselves. They bring rocket-propelled grenades to people's communities, and you sit in your government house telling people to defend themselves. Do you know, even the newly formed Zamfara Vigilance Services, if you know how many of them have been killed. They've killed, in one day, they killed more than 40. In one day. So they've been paying with their lives because they are not thoroughly harmed like the bandits. That's why we want state police. But state police must back. The law must back the state police to the point that they can hold high caliber weapons that they can use to overpower the bandits. But if you simply approve state police and you won't allow them to carry assault weapons, you give them den guns against AK-47 and AK-49. It's absolute nonsense. So the law must empower them to carry the same kind of weapons that the adversary are carrying. That way it will be balance of terror. You know that, yes, you are in position to defeat them.
Emeka, you know, from what BKO is saying, yes, the fortune smiled on these passengers and they were able to overpower these bandits, but it goes beyond just, you know, defending yourselves. Now, the government should wake up to the responsibility of protecting their citizens. But be that as it may, what would you propose as a means to, I know you've said a lot about, you know, poverty and all of that, but seeing this as a recurring issue in these northeastern states, what would you propose as measures so the government, you know, does the needful and not allowing the people to take the law into their hands?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, while that drama was going on, you know, after the drama, one of the passengers died. You know, he had a heart attack and died. I think, you know, there has been this call over many years that government should, you know, either allow Nigerians to carry arms or train Nigerians in handling arms, or convert the NYSC into, you know, a training pool of young Nigerians, you know, in handling weapons and all of that, and defense, you know. So all of these things, government needs to consider things, because the people are getting fed up. They're getting tired. They know, yes, the government is trying, security agencies are, you know, really being stretched to their limits. But if you must involve the citizens, then to what extent do you want to involve the citizens?
Right.
What do you actually want them to do? They cannot just remain docile and just sit back. Then people go attack them, burn their villages, burn their markets. And the only difference is just that these other people, they are holding AK-47 rifles. And the victims, are not holding any rifles. If it was an equally matched, you know, position, there, of course, you know definitely that it will be a balance of terror, and it will not be so easy. You know, I know, yes, there are countries where people are allowed to carry arms, but violence is still very, very serious. You know, I mean, look at a place like Mexico. The violence there is really, you know, it's heart-rending. But be that as it may, if government cannot allow every Nigerian to carry arms, then let's move faster on state police. 1. 2, the vigilantes. You know, when you travel to many states, you see the vigilantes. They are the ones who actually even go in deep into some of these areas. Yes, into the hinterlands. You know, even though you see them, like I saw in Abia State, I saw, you know, the military, the police, vigilantes, you know, on joint patrol in a long, you know, column. I think that makes sense, so that you don't just go with 1 or 2 vehicles and then you can be overrun. Go in columns, so that if there's any attack, you can deal decisively with that challenge. And then, let's just bite the bullet and get these vigilantes trained and properly armed. But there's, you know, whatever law, you know, the laws that will guide the establishment of state police should be such that place responsibility in terms of handling of arms, in terms of, you know, human rights and all of this, handling of suspects and all that. But you see, we cannot continue to pretend that this matter has not gone, that the handshake has not gone beyond the elbow. You know, this thing, insecurity, is a serious threat. A lot of Nigerians have been left unproductive because they are in IDP camps. I told you of the villages I saw sacked, total, and those are villages that have farms. The farmers now, you can imagine, you know, those farms have just been left there lying fallow. Maybe the animals have died and things like that. And the people moved elsewhere to strange lands. They cannot, you know, so this thing, we must get to that point where we say, yes, enough is enough. We must take decisive steps so that when you can assure the citizens that, yes, they can be confident to go back to their, you know, to places they were displaced from, you will see more action. You will see more cooperation from the people. Right. And then we will defeat, you cannot totally defeat insecurity, but you can curb it to the barest minimum. And then, of course, if there are jobs, electricity government should do something. You know, I know they're making efforts decisively by electricity, because when you go out there, a lot of unemployed people, they say, if we can get electricity, we can get employed. we can employ ourselves,
Right.
you know, we can get, you know, deploy our skills and things like that. So all of these things will go a long way in getting a lot of people off the unemployment market and getting them gainfully employed. I know there are those that even if you have 24-hour electricity, you have everything, they will not want to work. Yes, you can now, you know, put those ones through rehabilitation or counseling. But for those who are willing to work and, you know, be self-employed, I think government should take decisive steps to
Do the needful.
help them. Yes.
Indeed, like they
Yes.
say the devil's mind, and I do mind to say the
Yes, it's the devil's workshop. Yes.
So if
yes.
we are, you know, do the needful.
So many
ensure
so many idle youths out there
yeah.
who really want to work, able-bodied youths, but they're just, you know, hanging around every, you know, in street corners and in different places.
All right, let's quickly go on a very quick break. So on to journalist Tanga. We'll have more discussions in just a moment. Just stay with us.